And you all turn to realize that this pile of gold has gone missing. And all of you pick up on the faint sound of buzzing wings. And as you turn to sort of follow this sound, you see that all of these gold pieces have sprouted little stick-like golden legs and wings that seem like they're almost made out of gold dust.
Eldritch Blast.
This divine smite!
I'm gonna throw that sneak attack on there.
I blow, like I just like blowing the smoke off a gun, and then I unclench my fist, and I go for a smack on the staff.
So you bring your fist down on this last thing, and you hear a crunch as you crack open this last insect.
You can't walk away from me.
Oh, no.
You can't walk away from me.
Oh, stick in the mud.
Stick in the mud.
Unfortunately, you are under arrest for the current moment while we investigate this shop. Please surrender.
Lysander, did you do it?
No, I promise you have the wrong guy. I didn't do any of this.
Long story short, all of my net worth, all of it, all of my money, disappeared, and I tracked it down to right here, and then it flew up and started attacking.
Are you saying you broke and entered?
No,
Yes,
no.
yes,
it was...
he absolutely did. He broke through my window. He attacked me.
No. Listen. They were aware that I was here. No.
Unfortunately, you are under arrest. Rudy.
The 4 other CK units that were assigned to DTR come up and form a perimeter with you around the 2 detained individuals, and you begin to march westward. Hello, and welcome back to Performance Check. My name is Ethan Mann, and I am your Dungeon Master. I have 4 wonderful players with me, so let's go around the table and say hello. Claudia, can you tell us who you're playing, who you are, and what your character's favorite pastry is?
My name is Claudia. I am playing as Lysander, and Lysander's favorite pastry is a warm, buttery croissant.
Jimmy, you next.
Hi, my name is Jimmy. I'm playing CK373, and while they cannot eat, technically, they love the look of a good baguette.
Michael.
Hi, my name is Michael. I'll be playing Felicity, and Felicity's favorite pastry is any pastry, but she particularly likes macarons.
Wonderful. And last but certainly not least, Evan.
Heyo, it's Evan. I am playing Rudy Quickfoot, and Rudy is an absolute sucker for baklava. You know, get some honey, get some syrup, get some chopped nuts in there. Ooh, he's all over it.
Okay. Rudy being fancy over here.
Mm-hmm.
We pick up our story today with Rudy. Rudy, you find yourself in a cramped room with a small wooden table and a wooden chair on either side. The room is lit by lanterns firmly bracketed to the walls, and a single solid door leads in and out of this room. Evan, how do you have yourself situated here?
I think we're probably just back in classic Rudy pose. The feet are up on that table, and he is leaning backwards, just kind of resting. He was real beat up last session. Real beat up. And if he had a harmonica right now, he would be playing the blues. Right now, he's just hanging around, waiting, a little sad, in a lot of pain, you know.
Wonderful. As you sit there trying to play the part of the cool, unfazed hero while perhaps maybe every once in a while gingerly caressing a bruise or two, or rather a puncture on your arm here or there from the pincers of these metallic gold coin bug creatures that you were just engaged in combat with. The door creeps open, and in comes a man with bright red skin. Dark horns protrude through his blue-black hair, and a well-kept goatee frames his stern face. He's wearing a mix of brown leathers and deep green fabric stitched together, accented by a gold ascot. Held up by a series of leather straps over his chest is a ring about 3 or 4 inches in diameter that seems to be made of some sort of scale, alternating black and white. Well, Mr. Quickfoot. I had heard the training lodge and up and doing well, but breaking into a shop to commit theft in the middle of the day, I thought better of you.
Do I know you?
Perhaps not, but I make it my business to keep an eye on the going-ons of the town, so I most certainly know you. Rudy Quickfoot, disgraced boxing champion, now shacked up in an old, almost warehouse building, teaching the layabouts of Maple Morrow how to fight, and clearly doing a bang-up job of it.
Alright, okay, yeah, you thought you knew better of me, and I don't even know who you are. How close have you been watching?
He pulls out the chair on the other side of the table and sits down. And you see he almost sort of like glances down at a crystal that he has in his hand, and sort of like gives a small nod as if confirming something to himself, and says, "Closely enough. Closely as is appropriate for anyone in the town. So, let's just make this quick and simple. What was it you were intending to take from the shop that you broke into?"
Clearly, if you don't have your answers already, your CKs have not been doing a very good job. I wasn't looking to steal anything. My goods were stolen from me, and I was just tracking them down. If you did any detective work of your own, maybe you would have known that.
Roll me an insight check.
Ooh, baby. 15.
As you make that comment about the CKs not doing a great bang-up job of their detective work, you see the whiskers of his goatee at the corner of his mouth just twitch the teeniest bit. I see. Ah, yes, there it is, as he's looking down his crystal. Countercharging theft against the creature across the hall. If something was stolen from you, why not simply report it to the CKs? Why break into a shop that you claim you have no interest in burgling?
You clearly don't spend much time down in Maple Morrow, do you? The most exciting thing that would typically happen down there is, I don't know, a disagreement in a store. When a mysterious trail of holes finds its way through your building, outside of your establishment, into another one, you wouldn't feel at least the least bit inclined to follow? Heck, and something as valuable as what I lost, I can't trust anybody else to take care of that for me.
I see. Curiosity kills the cat mixed with the need for self-preservation. Interesting enough defense.
If it's interesting to you, that's telling enough that you don't spend enough time down where we live.
You see like the corner of his mouth twitch again as he stands. He says, "Wait here, Mr. Quickfoot. I shall be back." And as he turns to go, he tosses over his shoulder, "And you may call me Chimere."
Chimere.
Chimere quickly exits this room, shuts the door, and walks straight across the hall, where he enters an identical room. In this one, we find Lysander. Lysander, you are in the same kind of room, dimly lit with flickering lanterns, a single wooden table with 2 chairs. Where would you be?
Lysander would definitely be sitting at the table, and he just barely reaches the top of the table as he has his book, like, kind of out, and he's, like, scribbling why into it over and over again. And as Chimere enters, he's going to, like, quickly shut his book and then look up and just ask, "Why exactly am I here again?"
Well, it seems we're here for, and he glances down at this crystal again, accusations of moderate theft, is it?
He's gonna, like, scoff and stand up on the stool, or the chair, almost to kind of, like, get an eyes like the same eye gaze as Chimere. And he's just going to say, you and your CKs have no idea what you're talking about. I did nothing except wake up this morning and run my shop, just as I've always done.
And yet we are counter-accusing breaking and entering. That's quite the eventful morning, isn't it?
He is going to kind of like relax his shoulders a little bit and adjust his cape and just look up and say, look, Rudy, he really didn't have anything to do with this. I was hot-headed. Let him go, let me go, and we'll just let this whole thing be water under the bridge.
Unfortunately, it is my responsibility to see this through to its conclusion. So, if you wouldn't mind taking a seat, I'm sure you wouldn't be opposed to answering a few questions.
He's gonna, like, roll his eyes and then just say, I've got nothing to hide. Sure. I'll bite. And he'll sit down in the chair and just kind of sit really forward, almost kind of like making his presence as big as he possibly can.
You see Chimere takes the seat across from you, crosses his legs, and says, well, Lysander, I think it's best for me to start at the beginning. Tell me, how does a simple, honest man such as yourself come into possession of such a building of oddities in a place as remote as this?
I've always been here. It was given to me, by the people in my family, and I build things out of scrap. I'm sure you would know nothing about scrap, would you? And he'll kind of like dig daggers with his eyes.
One eyebrow just cocks the slightest bit at that accusation. How interesting the stories that are passed around, are they not? So, the fact that we then do not have a current inventory for your establishment would be...
He's gonna kind of like squeeze his eyes shut in a moment of just like, oh, why couldn't I have just given him some sort of answer? And just look and say, I don't sell a lot. Everything stays the same. If you look at a past inventory, the numbers would be exactly the same.
A successful business model, I'm sure. Lysander, would you like to press charges for the breaking and entering this morning?
No. Honestly, it gave me kind of a laugh. Rudy's a good guy, and he does a lot of good for the community. I would be remiss if I didn't see him back at his dojo.
Indeed. And his accusation of theft against you, have you any proof to offer to disprove it?
Does Lysander, I don't think he brought the jar with the flying bug with him. But I think that he would kind of use druidcraft. And in like the best way he can, he's just gonna kind of create like a sensory of whatever image he could conjure with this of the flying coin. And he'll say, this is what those things were. I did not steal. I did not do anything except wake up this morning, write in my journal, make coffee, kick out an old man from my shop who was doing nothing for my business model, and fight these things. And he'll also like raise out his arm and show where the pinchers got him, and just kind of be like, I got these from fighting off those things. I promise you I did not steal. I'm not interested in money anyway, as you well know.
You see he takes in this image that you have conjured through this casting of druidcraft and contemplates for a moment and then stands, sort of readjusts himself, says, I thank you for your statement. If you would please wait here, and exits the room. He enters this time into a third one, this one with windows, letting in the early afternoon sun. And Felicity, You, despite having more ambient light, find yourself sitting at a similar wooden table with a chair on either side. How would you be situated as you were waiting in this room?
I believe Felicity would be sitting there kind of kicking her feet as she's writing down basically details of what's happened and making sketches and trying to take down notes. And the minute the door opens, she'd hop up onto her feet and gesture to the chair across from her and go, "Thank you for joining me. You can have a seat now."
Thank you. Miss Andrews, is it?
"Detective Andrews at your service," she says, giving him a little bow before waiting for him to sit, and then she will sit with him.
You see he sort of like inclines his head in return. Charmed. Would you please be so kind as to describe what happened this morning?
Okay, so, and she flips through her book and looks at little, as if and she takes a breath and looks at it and goes, "So first thing I did was I woke up, and after I woke up, I ran downstairs to get ready for breakfast, and after I got ready for breakfast, I heard through a source that there was a theft at the blacksmith's. So I went over there, and it's the same deal as all the other thefts. I'm sure you're aware. But Herky and I found a trail, and we followed that trail all the way to Lysander's place, where they were attacked by what looked like flying gold, like pieces of gold, but they were beetles, and they were attacking, and so Lysander said I could come in, so I leapt through the window and dove through the shelves and helped them out, fending off these creatures. And then she kind of, her eyes narrow, and then she goes, and then they were arrested for defending themselves, or they weren't allowed to talk, they were just arrested."
I see. And could you confirm the CK unit that was at the scene?
Mm-hmm. She will start describing CK, not remembering the specific number, but just the general description of CK. I think the number was 373.
He sort of nods in understanding and says, "Thank you." Had you, detective, found any tangible proof that the gold that turned into these flying bug creatures belonged to Mr. Quickfoot?
I know Rudy mentioned losing gold, and the word disguised as gold, but I don't know if they were the exact gold pieces or if they're what stole the gold to begin with. And Felicity will reach into her bag and pull out the crushed beetle that CK never got to confiscate because Lysander started running circles around CK, and put it on the table and go, "I don't think they were ever real gold pieces, though I'm not entirely sure."
When you place this down on the table, you see a little bit of like interest spark in Chimere's eyes, and he pulls out a pair of black leather gloves and puts them on and reaches towards it. "May I?"
Of course.
He picks up this gold metallic insectoid creature. Its wings basically like rumpled now, almost as if someone were to take like a sheet of gold and then like crumple it up almost. These are what these like wings look like. There's like dents and scuffs in the body. And he turns this over and over in his hands, inspecting it, kind of plucking at one of the pincers here and there. Sort of trying to fan out one of the wings and letting it sort of then return slowly to that crumpled state. And he turns and looks at you and says, "May I keep this?"
She will open her mouth as if, and like, well, kind of go, "Yeah, you should probably keep it. Though the CK unit did also take a sample wherever they went. So you should have at least 2 samples then."
Wonderful. Well, eliminate possibility of contamination then with multiple samples, right?
True.
You see he stands up and neatly tucks the chair back into the table and says, "Thank you for your time. You may go."
What about Lysander? What about Lysander and Mr. Quickfoot?
A decision will be reached about them shortly.
Okay, because I asked Lysander, and he said he didn't do it. And Lysander is a lot of things, but he's not a thief. Now, if you want to talk about his charges of loitering, and she pulls out a page on there, and it goes like, 13 times he loitered outside the bakery. 13 times the last month. What's he doing?
He chuckles a little bit, and you see, almost like takes on a less stern demeanor. Detective, I will simply say it is prudent that you learn early in your career that people may present many faces. Do not always trust them at face value. And he will then open the door and offer it for you to leave.
She'll gather her stuff and then kind of give him a nod and go, let me know if you have any updates on the case. And then, like, salute before she marches out and heads to wait outside the building to see if they get released.
As you start to leave, he calls, a unit will be with you shortly to escort you out.
I already know. And then she stops and goes, okay, I'll follow protocol.
As you walk to the end of this hallway where all of these rooms are located, Chimere slides open a hatch in the wall and enters into a small room. This one almost a broom closet, where CK-373 has been kept in sentry mode during the interrogation. The door slides itself back shut. At attention.
Hello, sir. How are you today?
Enjoying my game of morning gymnastics, thanks to the little situation you have presented to us here.
I was only following protocol.
Indeed. 373, the next time you bring someone in for questioning over something trivial like this, make sure you have solid proof and individuals intending to press charges. Do you understand me?
I understand. Lysander said he wanted to press charges, so I followed protocol. There was reasonable suspicion that the materials that Lysander was using in his shop created the gold coins. I brought him in so that we could investigate the building.
Indeed. And he takes on a sort of look on his face that as if says, this is the party line. A few gold coins that are not even coins, found in a squabble between two washed-up DTRs does not necessitate you wasting my time, nor is it worth yours. But now that you've started this, you're responsible for finding this missing gold, and do not come back here until you have actual answers. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Very good. And the hatch slides back open and he steps out, and it stays open for you to exit.
I imagine that, like, I'm a little bit more compressed while I'm in there, that I'm about, like, as opposed to my 7-foot height, I'm more, like, shrunk down to a 5, maybe 4.5 foot version, and I step out, and, like, I literally, like, pop, lock out, and I stand up to my full 7 feet. I was just following my programming. And I step away from Chimere and head back into the hall and grab the keys to the other cells to let go Lysander and Rudy.
As you reach for those, he says, needn't bother. It snaps his fingers, and the doors to both Rudy and Lysander's room swing gracefully open. You are free to go. 373 will see you out.
Don't bother.
This will be very awkward if you don't let me see you out, for we are heading to the same place, I presume.
Oh, what did I do to deserve this? And Lysander, like, I need a shot of whiskey. And And a Benadryl. A whole bunch of Benadryl.
That is not two drugs that are recommended to be taken in tandem. I recommend either taking the shot of whiskey or the Benadryl.
Okay. Lysander will kind of roll his eyes and then just say, come on, with his hands. And then look at Rudy and say, we've got a lot to talk about. As he starts marching out.
You'll just hear a loud as Rudy slowly gets up and begins to march his way out, stepping clearly in front of CK.
As you all leave, you notice Chimere speaking with a man further down the hall, the opposite direction of where you are headed, with a thick, bushy beard and a patchwork green cloak that seems like it's made of nothing but pockets. They are speaking together in hushed tones.
Does Lysander recognize this man?
Roll me a history check.
Okie dokie. Alright, that's a 16.
You recognize him from, like, posters and leaflets around the town, but this is not someone that you have ever met in person.
Lysander will kind of, like, give a look to Rudy and then just kind of note that they're talking. And can he overhear anything that they're saying?
You're welcome to roll me a perception check.
Alright. That's gonna be a 6. Wow.
They are speaking in very hushed tones. It is not possible for you to make anything out.
If I'm getting a little look or a head nod, I would probably also be rolling.
Go for it.
As you said, insight or perception or...
Perception.
Oh, baby, that's a 16.
You catch, like, bits and pieces of words, sections of sentences, faulty CK units. Get the wrinkles worked out. Suspend your community keeper program entirely. Do you understand me? And I want that one wiped when it gets back.
Okay. All right. I'll hold on to that.
As you proceed down the hall with CK373, you all run into Felicity, who is waiting where she was told to, has gone off on her own. What are you up to?
No. She would, like, be peeking around, trying to see what else is going on, but she would wait where she was told to wait.
Cool. As you wait then, eventually, the other three walk up to you.
You're not going to the slammer, are you?
No, I was instructed to escort the three of you off of the premises.
Whew. I told them you guys didn't do anything wrong.
What exactly did you tell them, Felicity?
Just the details. I woke up, noticed the blacksmith was... I heard from a source that the...
Okay, I got it. Okay. Lysander has heard this so many times. He's gonna kind of, like, wave it off, and then he's just gonna say, alright, kid, nice to see ya, but I've gotta get back to my shop.
I will walk with you. Oh, and kind of gives a salute, and then, is like, I know a shortcut.
I need to get back to your shop too. I still don't know where my money went, and I am currently at a net worth of 0 gold. So I need to find out where that went. With permission, CK, with permission this time to go inside.
I currently have a warrant to investigate Lysander's shop. So you may join me if that is okay with Lysander, because I was instructed to find the missing gold as well. While we do not believe Lysander is the culprit, we do believe his shop might hold answers to this query.
And I've got a secret weapon to figure it out, she said. Felicity adds.
Oh, God.
Oh.
I just wanted to drink my coffee and have a croissant and write in my book. And now all of these people are going home to my shop. And he's like rubbing his temples. And he's like, all right, party at Lysander's. Come on, folks, let's roll.
Party? Do I need to get party favors?
I need to insight check Lysander. I have to.
Absolutely.
Oh, dude, that is a 22.
Yeah,
Ah!
Holy moly.
Lysander, what's a 22 get Rudy?
You're definitely getting a sense of like, holy crap, like, this is not how I wanted to spend my day. You also will like kind of see him like clutching his book and almost like tracing, just because the roll was so high. You'll see him kind of tracing his finger along like the front of the book, almost like following the markings that is in the leather-bound journal, and like counting to himself as you see him walk away.
Oh, okay, I kind of want to take a few steps up. I presume you're probably not okay with strangers ransacking your shop. However, there is an entirely empty dojo if you'd rather take a nap, or a shot, or a cup of coffee there instead.
Hearing shot, his ears twitch, and he goes, let's start there.
Oh, so we're going to the dojo for clues. I haven't investigated it yet.
Don't worry, Felicity. You have permission to go into the dojo. You are not breaking and entering. You're welcome inside, says Rudy sarcastically, trotting down the path.
Incredible. CK leads you all, perhaps not always in the front of the group, but with some gentle guidance here and there. You guys take a left, right, left, center fork, left again, until eventually you find yourselves at the exterior of a large brick castle on the north bank of the river. Leading out from the central entrance that you exit from is a cobblestone courtyard entryway that leads down to the banks of the river, and then to the bridge that spans from the north bank to the south bank across the river. And as you turn and look, as the large doors swing shut behind you, you see the word Craith engraved above the door. The water flows calmly as you walk across the bridge that connects the castle to the rest of the town on the south bank of the river. As you walk, your eyes fall momentarily on a crumbling stone tower that sits on a lone spit of land in the center of the river, upstream of the bridge. After a short while, you find yourselves standing at the end of the bridge where the road splits into 3 paths. One leads to DTR, one to Old Town, and one to the cottages. Where are we heading first, everyone?
Are we going to the dojo first?
Sounds like the dojo to me.
I would like to use Felicity's city secrets background to cut our travel time in half as she goes through like 18 different alleyways and cuts through a few public fields.
So with what I would assume takes some convincing of certain members of the party, you cut through some fields and duck around alleys and whatnot, and perhaps even those who live in the down the river section of Maple Morrow give you some sideways looks about like where are we going, until eventually you duck underneath a piece of wooden fence that has rotted out at the bottom and appear right in front of Rudy's dojo.
I'll just walk up to that main entrance, pull out my key, walk up to that main entrance and unlock that door.
Where do you keep your gold?
Bit of a personal question. I'll show you. We'll just walk on in.
Yeah, I want to see these holes you're talking about.
Why are you laughing at the mention of holes?
I believe it's called delirium.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
47 cut out holes? Question mark? Brilliant. So you all enter into this dojo, and what's everyone looking for?
I'm gonna go straight to like where he kept the money and investigate the hole.
Yeah, I'll probably show you the way there.
Yeah, Lysander will definitely follow.
Felicity
as well.
will, pulling out a magnifying glass to look around.
Cool.
So, first off, is there anything different about the place? Everything last as I left it?
Roll me a perception check.
17.
Everything seems like it's where you left it, though it does sort of almost feel like you have a prickling on the back of your neck. It's hard to place whether that is just paranoia from this morning or something else. Even with that, it does feel like everything is where it should be.
Rudy is on guard, and you'll see him when you guys first came in through this main door. You would see that we're kind of standing in what appears to be like a lobby or a reception area. He would turn immediately upon entering into the building and approach a rickety wooden table with 2 chairs behind it, one very much larger than the other. And sitting on top of this table, besides a few scattered papers, would be a metal box that would have a lock on it. And he'd pull a little key out from a little side pouch he's got, put it in, and unlock the box.
As you unlock this box and flip the lid up, it seems much as it did before. There is a hole that, with the context now of the creatures that you fought in Lysander's shop, you can almost put together that it looks like perhaps this hole was chewed.
Okay. I'll go ahead and just grab the box, turn it towards the party, like the inside, so you can all just see like the bottom of this hole, coming through the box. Give it a couple shakes upside down. Yep, nothing in there. Great. I'll set it down, probably, just for others to take a look at before kind of starting to make my way over towards where I saw the next hole.
Lysander is like looking at Rudy and is like, see, this is why I don't sell anything in my shop. And then he's gonna like walk over to the box and kind of like stick his finger through the hole and like feel the bite marks. And he's like, who gave you these gold coins anyway? They're obviously little monsters.
Excuse me, are you accusing my client base of being monsters? They are children. And their parents. Little monsters.
Okay. I mean... he's gonna like snicker and just kind of say like, I mean, I said what I said. But regardless, whoever gave you these gold coins obviously is the source of the little flying bugs that we had to crush down and who beat you up so bad.
I'm not sure about that. I mean, I have a few clients. I have more than one. I am, world-renowned, fighter, boxer, sparring partner, all those things.
Who are your clients?
Well, let's see here. Well, first we have the Smith family. A couple of human folk. I think just running through the list, the most notable, if we're going off of that first, would be I serve the mayor and his son. And then just a few other small families around the town.
The Smith family. Can I make a history check on that?
Sure.
That's going to be an 8. Is there a Smith family in town?
Smith is a pretty common name.
Thanks.
Does Felicity know anything, being a kid, about the mayor's son?
Ooh, roll me a history check.
History. Nope. That's a 4.
Felicity, the mayor and his family live in Old Town up the way, and it's not very common that kids between Old Town and down the river interact with each other.
Felicity will shrug and then go, maybe somebody's just distributing gold to everyone and some of them happen to be disguised. Maybe it's not one person. Because this isn't the only theft.
Can I make an insight check on the statement that of multiple clients?
Sure, roll me an insight check. While you're doing that, Lysander, can you give me an investigation check?
I got a 15.
Rudy, what does CK get with a 15?
You would get the impression that Rudy's being truthful, but maybe that, not entirely truthful. He does have multiple clients, but as far as you're concerned, multiple could just mean 2.
So we have the mayor boy and the Smith family.
And others.
Can you name them? They must be documented for tax purposes.
The tax purposes. Is that a violation of privacy? Are you doing that privacy thing again? Reading books that you're not supposed to read? Asking information pertaining to clients?
Questions. You can plead the fifth, but then I will not be able to help you find your missing gold.
Okay, the Smiths, mayor and his son. I do occasionally spar with a few other Quickfoot family. There are a few of them who do make a trip down here. Let's see. Holly's in town. Holly, Quickfoot, and let's think. Sorry. I was dropping there. I almost just dropped a Steven Quickfoot, bro.
I did get a 16 on my investigation.
As this conversation is going on, you're sort of like, you said you kind of stuck your finger in through the
hole
opening.
He stuck his finger in the hole, yes, and what next?
Yeah.
I don't get the joke. Why is everyone laughing?
Lysander almost seems like this. The bite patterns and whatnot around this hole almost look as if something was trying to chew from the outside in rather than the inside out.
Hold on. And he's gonna kind of pick up this box and say, your coins didn't escape. They were taken. Or at least something was trying to get in. And he's gonna show the box and the bite marks and all of that information to Rudy.
So then whatever took my coins came from your place. Because I followed a path all the way outside of my building into yours.
There was also a path from the blacksmiths to your place.
To my place or to Lysander's?
Lysander's.
Do I, can I remember, or think back on the holes that I was investigating before the man came in and remember what they looked like and if they were similar or had different bite, or even a different bite pattern?
Roll me a history check.
Oh, mama, that's an 18.
You do not explicitly remember seeing any teeth marks or pincer marks, or however you want to phrase that, on the inside of your shop.
I don't remember what it looked like. I do know that there was holes when I woke up this morning in my wall. It was creating some sort of breeze, but we'd have to go back there. Oh my god, if we wanted to investigate more.
Well, maybe we just caught them when they were trying to thieve your shop.
What would anyone want with my shop? And he's kind of twiddling his thumbs, and he's like, I don't sell anything anyway. It's just my own inventions.
Can I do an insight
check on that?
That's gonna be a 15.
That's gonna be a 22.
Oh my god!
Don't try to lie to Felicity.
Okay, you actually can tell that he is telling the truth. There is some reason that he is making these things, but they're definitely not he's not trying to get a profit. He's not trying to get a profit from what he makes. But there might be another reason for why he creates so many things. That's all I'll tell you.
Why do you create so many things if you are not trying to churn a profit?
They keep my mind off of things. I don't know. It's good. It's good. It's a good look to have things on your shelf when you're in business.
But if you're not trying to make a profit, then why are you trying to make your shop look good?
Lysander kind of stiffens and he's like, look, this has nothing to do with what we're investigating. Let's just drop it.
Plus, the things aren't interested in things with high monetary value. When they stole stuff from the blacksmith, it was nothing expensive. Just shiny things. So if you have anything shiny, or maybe not valuable, but interesting. Or maybe they steal things that are valuable to specific people. Because Mr. Quickfoot values his money, and his money's gone. We'll have to investigate.
Okay. He'll kind of like gag in his mouth a little bit, and he's like, let's go back to my shop.
Aren't you gonna take a shot?
Oh, thank God. And like the idea pops him back into his head, and he's like, thank you, small child. And he looks at and he looks at Rudy and is
As
like,
they are the same height.
yeah, literally. He'll look at Rudy and just say, got anything, Stiff?
He'll kind of take a look around, recognizing that he is literally in a business, in a reception area, and say, yeah, follow me. And he'll open a door and step into the actual training area on the other side of this reception area. There would be big sprawling mats laid out, a bunch of different practice dummies. The walls are covered with like prop swords and weaponry and training material. And say, yeah, just right this way. And then he'd open another door on the other side, and you would see what appears to be like a little like janitor closet. He'd step inside and motion you to follow in.
I definitely follow.
You would come into this tiny, dimly lit room, probably like a candle or two at the very end of its wick, sitting on a few boxes of storage. You see cleaning materials, you see old training materials, old trophies kind of sit on shelves, and you would see what appears to be like a sleeping bag on the floor. And he would reach underneath a pillow and grab a small metal flask and say, this is all I have left. I'm not really sure what alcohol you were looking to find in a training lodge, but there is some here.
Is this how you sleep?
Yeah. Is there a problem with that? You don't even sleep.
This is so spacious. This is so much more room than I have.
Rudy's shoulders will go down a little bit, a little relieved at that statement. Yeah, it's nice. Right, Felicity?
Felicity would, as she walks in and takes it all in, looks at Rudy and goes, you get your own room!
I do get my own room. It's fantastic.
You
cherish
also have
every
a sleeping
moment
mat.
here.
I don't have a
sleeping mat. I do. And you'll see him like pull aside a blanket, and it's literally just like a yoga mat. It's very nice. It's very comfortable. I make do with what I have, and I love every minute of it. And he takes a swig of that flask before handing it off to Lysander.
I feel like Lysander would like. I feel like he'd kind of get that, but I'm gonna just insight check Rudy here. Okay, it's a 7. It's a 7, but
Rudy is making do with what he has, and he's loving every minute of it.
All right. Well, Lysander will give a little nod, and take the flask and take a quick swig, and kind of like give a little shake, and just say, "Are we ready?"
I hate to say it, Lysander, but what you just drank was like 1 part vodka, 9 part water.
Sounds disgusting.
Lysander like smacks his lips, and he's like, "It'll do for now."
I believe what they call that is a schmeitschmal.
Schmeitschmal? What?
Are we ready to go? Felicity says she's tapping her foot at this point.
As you all take this collective breath together before heading back out, you feel as if you have, from, the releasing here the stress of the afternoon being under interrogation and all of that, you feel a little bit revigorated. That's not a word. Revitalized? Rejuvenated.
Reinvigorated.
There we go. Reinvigorated. Yeah. There we go. We made it there. And you can all take a short rest.
Oh, thank God.
Yay!
Rudy is no longer limping. That is awesome. I rolled practically minimum on my hit dice. That's so funny.
Yeah,
I rolled practically maximum.
1 and 2. I rolled 1 and 2.
I didn't have to roll because I didn't take any damage last fight.
I didn't have to roll. I didn't take any damage last
Jimmy.
Rudy is looking still not great, but it's fine.
Did you roll all of your hit die?
I rolled 2 of them.
All right.
Oh,
that's.
I don't like that. Should I recover the last 1 health I need then? Or...
Fine. I'll roll 1 more.
All right, fine. I'll roll another one. I'll recover my 1 health.
You roll a -1 on your die.
Well, and then I roll maximum. Are you kidding me? It's fine. Felicity just has had a great day.
Look,
Correct.
Evan, you're back at full. You're fine. You're
Because
fine.
I used my 3rd hit die.
You're
Because I rolled a 3rd one after Mr. Man dropped the. Okay.
You know what would be even better? A level up. I didn't even bother you last episode for a level up, so...
Ha. Ha ha. Hoo hoo. Hee hee ha ha. Brilliant. So are we heading out from the training dojo?
Felicity is leading us through another shortcut.
Felicity, you lead everyone through another series of shortcuts, clearly demonstrating how well you know the streets of your city, and you appear in front of Lysander's shop.
And we're here. May we go in?
Yes, we may go in. And Lysander, I don't think that we had time to lock up, so he'll kind of look around and make sure that nothing has been fidgeted with as he opens the door.
As you open the door, you find about 10 people in your shop, bustling about, carrying scrolls and quills, shuffling through everything on the shelves, clearly in a hustle and bustle, scratching notes down on their quills as they go. And you spot a familiar elf through one of the shelves.
He's in full panic. And I forget the name of the elf. What is the elf's name again?
Vamir.
Vamir, yes. Okay. He's in full panic and he is just looking at everyone and saying, out, out, out. No, don't touch anything. Out. And he looks at Vamir and just kind of gives him a glare. And he's like, I told you I don't need inventory done. Everything is as it was and how it always has been. And he's just kind of he tries to push a couple people with his small body frame.
As you're spouting all of this out, he says, yes, and then he sort of glances over at CK. Circumstances changed, didn't they? But no matter, we have almost everything that we need. We'll be out of here momentarily.
Just don't touch. And he's mage handing and fixing and making sure that everything is in its proper place. And he can't even think of a quick back comment to shoot out. He is just fully following around, making sure that nothing is being taken, that nothing is being moved, and just goes, the next time you want to come in here and mess with my things, do it when I'm around.
You see he sort of flicks his wrist and a scroll unravels from the end of it. Oh, but see, we had explicit instruction to come and take care of this while the shop was unoccupied. But I assure you that everything's in the general area that we found it. And you see a little halfling kind of trot up to Vamir. I think we have everything. Oh, very good, very good. And everybody drops what they're doing and turns and looks at Vamir. All right, everyone. Good day's work, good day's work. You're all dismissed. And everybody starts to shuffle out of the shop.
You could at least apologize, Felicity says, looking at him incredulously.
For doing exactly what I'm told to do? I don't think so.
You can do that without being rude.
Could I?
Lysander pats Felicity on the shoulder.
He walks up to you, Felicity, and looks down at you. Don't worry, little thing, you will. The people who have the backing that they need to needn't worry about how they come across. And he's going to turn on his heel and leave the shop.
I go after him outside of the shop, and I say, Vamira, a moment, please.
Yes, units?
What information have you found here? I was tasked to investigate the situation.
Nothing particularly interesting. It all seems like useless junk to me. And he starts like sort of rifling through all these scrolls that were handed to him as people were leaving. Little knickknacks, harmless light shows and puffs of smoke. Nothing harmful, but nothing that seems like it would be worth breaking into to steal either.
Anything connected to the missing gold, or these creatures that have appeared?
I couldn't tell you. We didn't have an inventory before today. This was our window to make sure that we had the information that we need going forward in case something like this happens again, and poor Lysander must call upon our help.
I expect that you give this inventory to the CK office.
Of course, the Mass Council will send a copy over to your office as soon as it is registered.
Thank you. And can I do a quick insight check to see if he was being truthful with saying that he doesn't see anything connected to the case or anything too dangerous?
Sure, roll me an insight check.
That's going to be a 12, unfortunately.
You do not get the feeling that he is lying, but you also don't get the feeling that he particularly cares.
He does not care enough to lie. Thank you. Have a nice day.
He sort of like jerks his head in a little approximation of a nod. Inside, Felicity, Lysander, and Rudy, what are you getting up to as this conversation's going on?
Lysander is definitely, like, checking over his thingamabobs and his doohickeys, and he just kind of, like, gives a quick breath, and he does kind of glare out towards where CK left, and he just kind of is muttering under his breath as he goes, I can't believe they did this. I cannot believe it. I'm gonna have to go again. I'm gonna have to move again. This is unbelievable. And he's, like, shifting, and he's like, okay, let's figure this out so it never happens again.
Agreed. Sounds like a plan.
It's time to call my secret weapon, Felicity says, and then kind of, like, puts her hands around her mouth and shouts out, Herky! Herky! As she calls Herky to her, who's been hanging out in Lysander's shop since the battle.
That thing has been in here this whole time?
So has my drone.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, okay.
As this little weasel, I assume, runs up to Felicity.
Yeah, absolutely. Herky, the little weasel, sort of like skitters off one of the top shelves and like runs his way down one of the poles on the end of a shelf and runs over and hops up into your arms. While the drone for CK basically floats off of a different shelf.
Herky, this is our new case. Did you notice anything strange or weird while you were here?
Herky just sort of like bobs his entire body up and down in a nod.
Lead the way! As she pulls out her magnifying glass.
Why would you need a magnifying glass when you're... Never mind.
Herky runs to the front door and starts to scratch at the floor.
I will investigate that, so if there was something you wanted to do, Claudia.
While that's happening, Lysander is gonna keep an eye out and just make sure she's not getting into anything she shouldn't be. And also reach into that little, like, shelf area and pull out the jar with the live, or I assume to be still, live bug pincher gold coin thing still inside.
Yeah, as you reach for that jar, you see this like insectoid gold coin is basically throwing itself at the glass in the direction towards the back door. And once it notices that you are going to pick it up, it falls still and lays completely still at the bottom of the jar.
Lysander will just put it out for anyone to look at as he goes back to look at the holes that he investigated earlier.
I'm gonna tap the side of my glasses and look at the magic coming off of it, and then I'm also going to look at the area that Felicity is investigating.
Cool. Felicity, go ahead and roll me either investigation or insights.
I did investigation for a 17.
You see some scratch marks at the base of this door, as if perhaps Herky has been scratching at it for a while.
And this is just the front door of the shop. Felicity is going to, noticing Herky wants out, open the door for Herky.
He sort of hops back for you to open the door and then takes off around the corner as you open the door. CK, roll me an investigation check.
I will. Oh no! No, I can't roll well this session. That's a natural 2 plus 3 for 5.
As you tap your visors to try and like go into different modes, you notice that there's like a set of pipes on one of the shelves that is giving off a like a small amount of smoke invisible to the naked eye.
I go over to the pipe and I ask Lysander, what is happening with this pipe?
Lysander will look at the windpipes, and he kind of like chuckles a little bit, and you see him like jump up and then stop and pull out like a stepladder to try and reach this thing. And he pulls it down, and you see like a big like bag type thing where you would like grab onto it and it would blow out air. And he just goes, this is for getting dust out of hard to reach areas. You squeeze it here, and then like as he squeezes, the air comes out, and he goes, the dust goes flying. It's a really good invention, I think.
You think? Have you ever used it?
I just kind of made it. To be honest, it's kind of just collecting dust right now.
So it's doing the exact opposite of what it was supposed to do.
Technically, yes. But don't all good things come covered in dust? And he kind of chuckles and looks at everything in his shop, and then just kind of goes,
I do not come covered in dust. Am I not a good thing?
Let's move on. And he just kind of hands the bagpipes over to CK to investigate.
Cool. Rudy, what are you getting up to?
Rudy is probably still investigating the holes. That's kind of, what got him in this mess in the first place. So he's kind of just hyper-focusing on these little rat holes, kind of going from spot to spot as everybody else is kind of doing their thing.
Cool. Hit me with an investigation check.
Heck yeah. Oh, baby. That is a 19.
Woo!
As you
baby.
start poking around at these holes, you come to the same realization that it looks like these were chewed by something trying to get in, rather than something trying to get out.
Gotcha. I'm just gonna keep on following them. I guess get to the other side whenever possible. See if I can, tell where the last one came from.
Cool. As you go around to the outside to look at the other side of these holes, you meet up with Felicity, who has followed Herky, who has stopped in front of the hole and has started vigorously pointing with his nose.
What is Herky pointing at?
At the moment, he is just on the ground, and he is pointing up to the wall above where the hole is.
And I'm guessing, is it Felicity height, or is it higher?
It's about Felicity height.
Okay, Felicity will immediately put down an arm for Herky to climb up and then stand on top of her head so he can get the height he needs.
Brilliant. As you let Herky climb up, he basically kind of tugs you a little bit to get you right to the wall and starts tapping one spot on the wall above the hole again and again with his nose.
Can I investigate that spot to see if there's anything that stands out about it or anything unusual?
Sure, roll me an investigation check.
Cool. Can I get advantage since Herky's helping me?
I will give you advantage, and you can add Rudy's investigation modifier as well, since he's there helping you as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. You just got yourself a +0.
Great.
You're so
Rudy-
welcome.
helpful.
I help.
Rudy said, it's a wall, as I rolled a dirty 20.
You, Felicity, get the feeling that Herky is trying to point out something that he is picking up with his heightened animal senses that you are not able to pick up with your human ones.
The one time I don't play a spellcaster. Ugh, frustrating. Herky, is it a scent that you're getting, or like a sight detail? And she'll hold out her left hand and then go scent, right hand, and go sight.
He will kind of like look back and forth between the two, as if perhaps maybe one or the other does not fully articulate exactly what it is he's picking up, but then like hesitantly puts one paw on your hand for scent.
Okay. So it's something that an animal can pick. Felicity would put her mouth up to the hole and go, Herky found something! to call inside. And then go, does it leave a trail, Herky?
He starts to bob his head up and down again.
Alright, lead the way.
Lysander, hearing this, will then come outside as well.
I will also come outside.
All right, you all join the rest of the group outside, and Herky starts to like slowly, with his nose to the ground, follow what seems to be a trail. It seems like perhaps he's not great at picking it up, but is at least able to like catch it again, even if he's not 100% on it constantly. So he'll sort of like go to one spot and have to like stop and like really think and sniff around until finding it and run to the next spot. And you all follow along in this kind of like stop and go manner for a while. As you walk, the sun creeps towards the horizon, casting everything in a deep golden haze. After a while of walking, you find yourselves at a clearing. The remains of what seemed to be a fire sit near a few stumps, and a few fallen trees lay haphazardly about. And underneath the cover of one of the trees is a large pile of shiny things. Sitting nearby are two chests with gold coins scattered about as if they were being hastily loaded in and then abandoned.
Can I do an Arcana check?
Yeah, absolutely. Roll me an Arcana check.
All right, that's going to be a 16.
You, Lysander, cannot put exactly your finger on what it is, but there is a viscousness to the air that feels as if perhaps there's been some trace of ancient magic that has touched this area recently.
Does it feel similar to maybe ancient magic that Lysander has experienced before?
16. It's not one for one, but it is not perhaps dissimilar.
Okay. Lysander is going to ready his wand just in case things go sour. And just kind of look at Rudy and go, think I found your gold.
Maybe you did? This seems too easy. Too good to be true. And I just want to take a little peek around.
Cool. What are you peeking around at?
I guess I'm looking for people. Like, just anybody in the surrounding area besides us.
Cool. Roll me an investigation or a perception check.
Can I assist with my eye for detail, helping me find hidden creatures or objects?
Absolutely. Do that with advantage, Rudy.
Oh, heck yeah. 20. Dirty 20.
Yippee!
Rudy, you find what appears to be a set of footprints charred into the ground that lead to the center of this sort of strewn about remains of a fire. And it seems as if these footprints lead right into the center of what used to be this fire and then stop.
I want to take a glance over at Herky. Is this what we're trying to find? This what we're following? Kind of like, try to direct Herky's attention.
Herky will kind of like sniff around the whole air, and then sniff around what you're pointing at there on the ground. and sort of give like a diagonal nod of like, not yes, but not no. Like, we're in the area. This seems like maybe it's connected, but there's a lot of smells going on here that seem a little fishy.
We need to investigate further.
You're saying these footsteps just like lead into the fire?
Into what looks like it used to be a fire, yes. Now it is, if you could imagine somebody who had gone up to the coals of a fire and kicked it to spread it out so it would put itself out, that seems to be what you're looking at.
Gotcha, okay. I'll point this out to everybody if we didn't see it already.
I'm gonna poke around the ashes to see if I can find anything amongst them.
Cool. Are you just investigating? Are you using any magic? What would you like to do?
Just investigating.
Cool. Hit me with an investigation check.
That's a natural 20!
Yay.
Plus 3 for 23!
As you sort of like pick up these ashes and let them fall to the ground, there almost seems to be a shimmer to them that would not be there in mundane ashes.
I kind of pull Lysander over and I say, I noticed there are some shimmering in these ashes. Do you know what they could be from?
Can I Arcana check?
Yeah, you're welcome to roll me an Arcana check.
Actually, I'm gonna roll investigation if that's okay. I'm just gonna see if I do recognize this to be material or maybe magical, like just at the beginning.
If you want to know about potential magic connected to these, I will say make it Arcana. If you would just like to do like mundane investigation, that you can roll an investigation check.
Okay, I am going to... I'll do an Arcana check.
Okay.
All right, an 18.
It does seem as if there is an arcane nature to these. It almost seems like this is the remnants of something.
He's gonna kind of like push it around with his finger. Could I tell what sort of spell this could have been? Or is it just some sort of remnant and I won't be able to discern it?
That is not something you can discern just by making checks.
Okay. Lysander is going to kind of like poke it around and just kind of look and say, there's magic here. I'm not sure what type, but it seems a lot, maybe even darker, perhaps, in nature. Or, if not darker, something bigger than all of us.
These were offerings to a fire demon! And once the fire demon was appeased, he granted untold riches and power amongst them. Felicity says, like, giving, like, this, like, big, like, aha gesture before going, no, that might not be it.
Yeah, I don't think that is true, Phyllis, says he.
But the footprints are charred, and they're heading straight into the fire, and there's no footsteps leading out of the fire. So whatever went in there never came out.
I don't think you're entirely far off, Felicity, as much as it pains me to say that. And Lysander is just gonna get as close up and nose into the fire as he can. He is going to use Burning Hands, and he is going to kind of catch this thing on fire and see if it does anything.
Brilliant. You cast this spell, and with a flicker, this fire kicks to life. As that happens, you hear the rustle of wings, and you all see out of the corner of your eyes the vast majority, maybe not the vast majority, but at least a good 50% of this pile of shiny things take flight with the same kind of wings sprouted from the creatures that you fought in Lysander's shop.
Oh, God.
Oh, come on!
not
Lovely!
These things flee further into the forest.
Oh, come on!
They're giving chase! And Felicity is gonna motion to Herky to hop on her shoulder, and she's like, we gotta go follow them!
Wait, Felicity, wait, that is dangerous.
My net worth! I'm running in.
Brody, God,
Felicity is charging ahead with Rudy.
God,
Already going.
I can't.
Already gone.
I can't deal with stupid
Felicity's,
people today.
I'm with
I
Rudy.
can't.
Felicity's with Rudy.
This is not a smart idea, everyone. We should not... Oh, and they are gone.
And-
There was more to investigate. Maybe we shouldn't set them on fire next time.
Lysander is gonna look at CK and then look back at the group running. And then he's gonna look at CK. He's gonna be like, I'm not being alone with this thing. And he's running after Rudy. Rudy
I have a name.
Incredible. So, just to clarify, Rudy is darting past the other half of the pile that has not come to life and running after the half that did come to life. Correct?
That is correct.
Felicity is with him.
Amazing. Felicity bends down and lights this fire ablaze, and as it roars to life, illuminating this clearing as the sun dips behind the horizon, these things all with a like a grinding, rustling noise jump to life and flee out into the night. Felicity and Rudy dart after them, shortly followed by Felicity, shortly followed by CK, as you leave this fire and make chase.
Yep.
That is where we're going to end today's session.
That's so good.
Performance Check is an original Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast. All characters, settings, and situations in this story are completely fictional. The cast of Performance Check consists of Michael Saliski as Felicity, Claudia Cromley as Lysander, Jimmy Lancaster as CK373, and Evan Marshall as Rudy. The game is DM'd by Ethan Mann.
So just to clarify, you're running past the pile of gold that's still there, and you're giving chase to the one flying? Yes.
Correct.
That is correct.
So true. Yes.
Good to know. Great.
That'll give us the most information.
Exactly. That was Rudy's thought process.
That was
it.
not Rudy's thought process.
That was totally
Rudy did
Rudy's
not have a thought process.
No, that was it.
My
That was totally
net worth.
Runs off of. Meanwhile, there's a pile of gold bigger than your net worth right there.
it.